Hi everybody, I'm Dale Fredricks, and if you've been watching our videos to this point, you'll remember that we talked about teaching a horse how to turn around on his hindquarters, first through groundwork and then through mounted work, and we also touched on getting a horse to plant his pivot foot. So now the next step is we're going to put that all together, and we're going to work on getting multiple revolutions in what I call a slow spin. What we're trying to do is we want to get the horse comfortable in his footwork, just turning around, just like as if he was walking out in a straight line. We're going to have to make many corrections when teaching the spin. So in order for the horse not to get sick of it, I want to get them comfortable at a slower speed first. Get them real comfortable in their footwork and get them to a point where it's pretty automatic. They can turn around without much guidance, and then later on we'll start adding some speed. So I'm going to start shorty here. I'm going to start him off in a turn to the right, and I'm just going to assume my position. My inside foot slightly ahead, my left foot a little bit back or straight down, and I'm just going to lay my outside rein on his neck and get him to start turning around. Now if at any time he does something wrong, I'm going to correct him and then give it back to him. And it's okay if you're not sure what the pivot foot is doing. You can look down there, make a round, just kind of watch it. And then as your horse gets better too, try to turn him with just one hand sometimes. And we'll make 5 or 6 turns here. You can see he's very relaxed, and we'll stop him. Something I might mention too, it's not a bad idea to wear some kind of protective footwear, splint boots, bell boots, if a horse tends to want to step on themselves while they're learning. And also you want to watch their knees. Some horses will hit their knees when they cross over, and they can get pretty sore, either in the front of the knee or the back of the knee. You can buy a protective boot for that, and you can put it on one knee one day and then alternate to the other knee the next day. So now we'll try him to the left. Again, I'm going to get my left foot slightly ahead. I'm going to be a little bit twisted in the saddle, and I'm going to lay my right rein on his neck. If at any time he stops moving, I'm going to correct him with my feet and my reins. I can kind of check out my pivot foot here. Just try to maintain your posture and make sure you're not changing things up with your reins and your hands when you do that. And check them out one-handed as they get better and better. And they need to keep going until you say stop, or until you signal them to stop. Now again, don't just go from making a couple of steps to making 10 revolutions. It's a gradual process. You want to just get a few steps first, and then get up to where you can make 1 revolution, and then just gradually increase it. Keep your horse in a willing frame of mind. Something else you can work on right along with that, we can teach a horse quite a bit outside of the spin, so we're not always having to pick on them while they're in the spin. You can start making small circles, and you can make sure that your horse, everything is lined up. When I say lined up, I mean everything is slightly arced to the inside. You want to make sure his hindquarters are under him, not slung to the outside. You want to make sure his shoulder's not dropping in. You can correct all that stuff in the circle here. If his shoulder starts dropping, push him out. If his hindquarters are getting outside, you can bring them back to the inside of the circle a little bit. And you also want to keep working on collection and getting suppleness in the pole. And we can start adding a little impulsion, make them walk up a little bit, and then go into a trot. Again, try to keep everything very correct. Keep on working, getting it more and more correct. Later on, we're going to use this impulsion in the trot. We're going to use it in our spin. So Those are some things you can work on outside of the spin itself. Remember, when you're doing this slow spin, always release. Like, you're going to have to make many corrections. But whether it's the groundwork or the mounted work, you want to work primarily on a slack line. Make your correction and then give them relief. That's how they learn to find that magic spot in there where all you have to do is just almost think something and they're going to do it. And you'll get that magic spot rarely at first, and then you'll get it more and more often, but you have to give them the release. That's their reward. So that tells them that they've done something right. So that's the next step in the spin, the way I do it. And I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Remember, every day you get to ride a horse is a privilege and a gift from God. Thank you. Goodbye.